Knicks Real Talk. It's the night show. We on prime time. 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 Knicks Real Talk. Knicks Real Talk. Knicks Real Talk. It's the night show. We on prime time. 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 Knicks Real Talk. Knicks Real Talk. Knicks Real Talk. It's the night show. We on prime time. 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 Knicks Real Talk. Knicks Real Talk. Knicks Real Talk. Knicks family, what's good? What's going on? Knicks Real Talk. It's the night show. It's your man Divine. BX Jedi 76 is in the building. We in here, man. Third Tuesday night, August the 6th, 2021. We chilling in the nighttime, man. About to get Knicks Real Talk popping off. We here on a night off. Just about to go over the game last night and all the things related to that and any other Knicks news that's out there. But we in here. We ready to get it popping. So we glad to be here tonight, man. And we just ready to talk some Knicks, man. Let me bring in Jetty real quick just to introduce himself and we get back into it. Salute, Jedi.
Good evening, Divine. Good evening, Divine.
I'm good, my brother.
How's everyone doing in YouTube and Facebook Live and Instagram and Twitter? I appreciate you guys coming aboard. Welcome to tonight's show, the Knicks Real Talk, the Battle of New York, Part 3, the Brooklyn Nets, New York Knicks. Last night, we're going to break it. We got a lot to unpack. The Knicks fell to a 2-point game, 112 to 114. And like always, Divine, I'm always interested and intrigued to hear what your thoughts and what you thought of the game last night. So with no further ado, Mr. Divine, take it away, my brother.
Yeah, salute to the chat, my man BX. Yeah, man, interesting game last night. Man, tough loss as always. But we're going to go with a recap and the Knicks and Nets recap, man. It was, disappointing because we lost. Disappointing because we had that lead, man, and we was in there, man, scrapping, grinding it out. And we just didn't play 48 minutes last night, man. I just thought that at the end of that third quarter, and we kind of let them get back into it, man. So it was like, whoa, But we're gonna get into it, man. We're gonna go over all of the game breakdown. We're gonna go through all the scenarios and everything that happened and all that. So we're going to get into that. But real quick, Camilio, salute to my man Camilio was in the chat tonight, man. Salute, Camilio. And, we're going to get into all that, man. And it was like, man, I'm sitting there watching the game just like, you know what? Oh, man, we had them opportunities, man. We play, it's so disappointing when you play them so close. Every game we play these guys, we right there for the taking, but we can't close it out. So it's a tough loss in that sense, man. But, sun come out tomorrow, man. We got to keep grinding, get ready for Boston. But you know what? We grinded, man. We in there, we played, man, and that's all you can ask for, and unfortunately it didn't come out the way it wanted to come out. I think Kyrie Irving ran the muck last night. That we had nobody who can slow him down, and he just showed why he's Kyrie Irving. He was really giving us the business last night, and so it happened. That's part of it. Dan, we see you, my brother, man. Salute. And it was a tough one, man. It really was, man. We was in that game, man. It's just amazing how hard we've been battling, competing, and we just come up short. So we got to just keep grinding it out, man, and let that one go under the books, get it out of our system, get it out of our mind, and try to move on to the next one. Because that's the only way you can do it. But definitely disappointing loss for me, man, because I thought we had that game in the first half. I was like, you know what? we are playing some good basketball here. You mean, and then and I think like Tom Thibodeau said in the press conference, we didn't play 48 minutes. You know what I mean? We just in that third quarter we gave up a little bit, man. I don't know with the energy level, or we let them get back in, or I think we got too lackadaisical. I don't know, but they came back and they got in there. So we got to take that L, man. We got to move on to the Boston Celtics tomorrow. We take the L. It is what it is. You know what I mean? It's associated with the NBA. You know what I mean? But for the fan, it was disappointing though. I mean, what you think, brother?
Yeah, my take on it was the first half. The Knicks were playing fast. They were playing loose. They were running and gunning. They were being led by Julius Randle, and the Knicks couldn't handle and build on prosperity. It showed it. They let a 13-point lead evaporate really quick down the stretch. Especially in that third quarter. In that third quarter, they with 2 minutes and 13 seconds left, they had a 7-point lead, and by the end of the quarter, they were trailing by one. It was they ran out of gas. You allow Brooklyn to beat us in the hustle plays. They out hustled us down the stretch with rebound and second chance points. Killed this team. The ability of securing a rebound in the final seconds. And I want to read what Dan says. You notice that we haven't have. You notice have since the next game, the first unit has pushed the pace more than usual. Yeah, that they've been running and gunning, and that's the reason why for that is they don't want to get caught in that zone, and all the teams started scouting the Knicks and playing the zone. So that's how one of the ways you beat the zone besides stretching is that you run and you run and gun and you score in transition, and as you can see with that Divine they forgot they fell into the Nets trap in the second half. They played the Nets game, which is one-on-one hero ball, and the Knicks stopped moving the ball around, spreading the floor, and playing their game and spreading and defense and team defense and not individual play. And that's why you had Kyrie Irving go for 40 points and Jeff Green, aka Scottie Pippen, he turned into Scottie Pippen, killed us yesterday. With 23 points, 9 of 16 from shooting, and he had 9 rebounds. He made a career, and you got guy journeyman like Alize Johnson. On a 10-day contract, just ran amok on the Knicks. Driving and became a pest, just a real pest. And the Knicks didn't do any. They got frustrated. They didn't do any adjustments. This is the first time I say that there was no adjustments. A lot of mental errors, and especially in the third quarter with Payton. He just had that mental error, and he got sloppy and careless. And then it led to Julius wannabe play isolation ball, and out of those isolation ball, he turned the ball over. They went on fast break. They led to fast break points and gave Brooklyn that hope to get back in the game and take over the momentum. They took the momentum right out of us, and it was crazy. And salute to Brooklyn Billy. I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you're with us. And of course, and then in the fourth quarter, you got a chance with Nerlens Noel missing 2 key free throws. That was important. And Alex Burke, he hit that time 3-pointer. It was wow, okay. And I did say it was going to be a single game possession for the Knicks, to a chance to win. And I actually went on a bold statement, a buzzer beater win. And the Julius Randle shot at the end, it was a good. He was just gassed, Divine. He was just tired. He was tired. Derrick Rose, 25 minutes. He can't go any more longer than that. And it keeps showing in night out, these tough losses that hurt us. They see the team battle and they just run out of gas and they're tired and they're not fully talented to go ahead and propel them. And they didn't address the need in point guard, and it's showing. The need of a point guard to relax things. And Derrick Rose, they want him to be the closer, but he's 25 minutes situational at best to play. He can't give us 30 plus minutes as a point guard, and we lose on a point guard with Payne is fine, but down the stretch he gets in these mental funks, these mental laps with him at times that don't move the ball yeah, I agree with you, Dan. Tibbs needs to trust the bench more, of course. Absolutely, Brooke and Belly. I think Burke should have gotten that last shot. He just finished hitting the tying 3-pointer. I mean, I wouldn't mind if Burks or Bullock take those shots. No matter how much I kill Bullock as Brownstone Bullock, but he's been shooting very good last few games. Off the curl, and I thought that was going to be a 2-man game because him and Randall have a good rapport in that 2-man game, and I thought that was going to be the winning shot. And I was shocked that I was hoping they just go for the win, forget the overtime. And RJ also had a good night shooting in the fourth quarter. He came alive in the fourth quarter. He was there and he kept us, going. I figured, with Anthony Edwards' comments early in the day, and you see him react to it, I thought, maybe RJ, was going to take that. But, that's a problem going forward, Devon, with this. We have to watch the way these guys are running out of gas. It takes so much. The lack of point guard is causing Julius Randle to handle the ball more. You saw when he was pushing in the first half, he was handing the ball and they were running and gunning and moving quick. But then that takes up so much energy. And then when Julius gets expelled and gets tired, you start seeing the errors, the mistakes, the unforced characteristic mistakes because he's tired, he's fatigued, and he's trying to make something happen when he doesn't have nothing. He needs a spell in there. And Thibodeau, and my point to you, and I remember I texted you, I said, Tom Thibodeau, one thing I am going to criticize is, do not wait until there's 2 minutes and 13 seconds to make a substitution to bring in your second unit. You left the first unit to play against Brooklyn's second, and not just Brooklyn, the other team's second unit, where they're full of energy, high energy. And then when you bring in our second units with 2 minutes, the momentum's change. Then they come in cold. The second unit comes in cold, and it takes an uphill climb just to get back in the fourth quarter. I give kudos to the Knicks that every game they're in it. They always make a stretch run, but sometimes they got to burn all that energy and they don't have nothing left to close it out because they spend so much energy to try to come back and tie and make a game of it. And those are the things that I would like Thibodeau to use his players bench at least when there's 7 minutes left in the third quarter, make the substitution in. So like that, they could bring that high energy into the game and keep it moving and keep that pedal on. So like that, you could go in maybe the start of the fourth quarter with a fresh starters, and they could actually build more of the lead. I think that's the only criticism I have of Thibodeau with that. Maybe you need to change the rotation. And please, you got young kids you got lottery picks that give Knox a couple minutes to come in there and stretch the floor out. Maybe we need to see that. They're here. They're part of this future. We need to play them here, and we're on house money. So why not put in a Knox to give you that scoring? All those type of things, and all those things we've seen. It might be a little frustration on my part because we've seen how much they battle and double-digit leads. All the losses we had, Divine, we had double-digit leads in all of these games.
Absolutely.
And it's the inability to close out with the point guard, and the same mental errors we see come over and over again, and it's because the main culprit it's fatigue. And salute to Tim. And what do you think on that, Divine?
Yeah, man. I mean, you know what? I'm one of the guys like Tibbs coaching the team the way he coaching them, he doing what he doing, man. Who am I to kind of picking? But from a fan standpoint, I understand it. From a fan standpoint, you want to see things done a certain way. And Tibbs Tibbs that type of guy is like, what? I think if he feel like because of the talent on his team, if you bring them guys in early, the game might get away from him. Now he got to fight to get back because believe it or not, Obi topping, even if they come in early and quickly them, let's say they come in there early and they're not producing, then I think Tom Thibodeau might feel like, what? This is the only way I can analyze why I think he would do it. It's because they so young. And that's the reason why the second unit. I think he's scared if he bring them in early, they might not be able to sustain the lead or take a lead. That's what his thinking is. Not saying that's the right thing, but he might feel that way, or he might feel like this is the way I've been doing it since I've been coaching for 20 years. You know what I mean? This is who I am. Y'all know who I am. This is what I do. This is the way I coach my team. That's who he is. That it really doesn't matter what we hope he may do because it really is irrelevant because he is. This is who he is. You know what I mean? This is the way he's been coaching all his life, and he has success with it. And I always believe sometimes I understand where that can play a part. But, nowadays I just look at it, with the talent that we have, I think he might feel like we don't have enough talent to do that yet. Maybe when if Obi start coming around, he said, okay, I can bring Obi in at 6 minutes instead of 2 minutes. But Obi, he might not feel like now Obi is not gonna give him what he needs for that 6 minute stretch until he's ready to get it. Now it seems like he's gradually going that way. So maybe Ted might feel, what, I can relieve Randall, which he did the other night. Matter of fact, he took Randall out. He normally bring Obi Toppin in when the first quarter over. But I noticed the other night last night he brought him there doing that 2-minute stretch like you're talking about. But I think if our talent get better, I think I think Thibodeau might feel he could do that. He could say, okay, you know what? Now these guys are playing up to a certain level where if I take the starter out, I'm still getting something. You know what I mean? So maybe that could be the reason why, because I think he's been coaching like that for a long time. But other than that, man, you know, like, I agree with a lot of points that you and Dan in the chat made. Like, you know what? One thing Dan said, I gotta hit you. I miss Mitch too, brother. I was saying that last night. People don't understand how much we miss Mitchell Robinson. You know what I mean? You know, I know Noel is a good shot blocker, but Noel is not Mitchell Robinson. You know what I mean? And I believe that his offense rebounding. The way he can, I mean, he control the paint from the paint down there all the way up to the foul line. Usually Noel control the paint right by the rim. You know what I mean? So, you know, but Mitchell Robinson be out on almost close to the perimeter. He'd be out by the foul line. He'd be out by the corner. That guy covers so much ground. It's ridiculous. And I think that's the reason why I think how bad they miss with Mitchell Robinson from a defense standpoint. The one thing about Mitch, he had that whole neighborhood surrounded. He like, this Mr. Robinson neighborhood, you just not coming in here like that. And, you know, he can go out, jump out and block 3-pointers. He can go out and slow a man down from penetrating. So I think they missed that from Mitch, you know what I mean, in the offensive rebound. And I think that's playing a major part in these collapses too, you know what I mean? So that and not playing 48 minutes, you know what I mean? I think that was a big key factor in what went on last night, you know, in another sense was that, man. I just think that they wasn't, you know, playing 48 minutes, you know what I mean? They didn't close the game. They wasn't playing 48 minutes. Like I said, they played well for 3.5, 2.5 quarters, and then 1.25 got away. You know what I mean? I just think they got the same energy that you have in the first one, you got to bring in the second one. You know, you got to play that for 48 minutes, especially when you're playing a team like that who got talent like that. You got to play for 48 minutes. You got to keep it going. You can't let off, because as soon as you let off, you got a superstar like Kyrie Irving say, okay, you know what? You know, y'all give me a little chance to do something. You know what I mean? You couldn't stop him anyway. So I think that was important. But I agree with y'all about the last shot. I don't have a problem. Julius Randle got us there, man. Let's not get it twisted. You know, Julius Randle playing good ball this year. This is just one shot he didn't make, just like in Minnesota. It's one shot that RJ didn't make. They got to make them shots. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's not even about who take the shot. It's not about who take the shot. It's who make the shot. So I don't care what Burks, Bullocks, Randall, RJ, shit. I don't care what Derrick Rose, make the shot. That's what it boiled down to. RJ, he lost. He missed the one against Minnesota, and Julius Randle missed one against the Nets. So them players just got to knock them down. You know what I mean? Salute to Frank Matos. We see you, my brother. Salute. Brooklyn Belly, Tim Smith, Dan, Camilio, everybody in the chat, YouTube, Facebook, Knicks Real Talk, the Night Show. We just going over the game recap. Me and BS Jedi 7-6. We in here, man, talking Knicks. Salute to everybody out there. Hope everybody doing well. I know the dust done settled, man. We can kind of, you know, take the last night's loss and just, you know, wash it away, man, and get moving on to the next one. Boston Celtics tomorrow in Boston. So, you know, that's what it is, man. But yeah, we just got to play 48 minutes, man. We got to go from beginning to end, close that game out, and I think we'd be fine. Because you think about the game that we didn't close out, 2 against them, 2 against Philly. You know what I mean? And we didn't close out a couple of key games that we could have been probably way over 500. You never know. But I think that's something we got to work on, whether it's going through the stretch from here on out or to the off season. We got to work on closing that game and playing 48 minutes, definitely.
One thing, common denominator of all those things, they're fatigued. They're tired. Randall, it showed on the play before he took his last shot with the rebound. They had three guys converging on Jeff Green, on actually TLC to that rebound, and they have quickly you had Julius, and they had tired legs because Julius didn't get up for that rebound. He didn't even box out. No one boxed out there. It's fatigue. And the same thing with all those plays down the stretch is, you know, there's a little fatigue in it, and you can see that, and that's what's causing it. It's like these mental errors. They out hustle. When you out hustle, it's because of fatigue, you know. And you start, and like Clyde likes to say, when you start hacking and whacking down the stretches because you got tired, you're tired. So one thing I got to say about Coach Thibodeau, Coach, you haven't won a title anywhere. You know, you need to adapt. I'm not saying he's the right man for this job, folks. I'm not saying no. I'm not getting on Coach Thibodeau. But you need to change and adapt to your style. You know, Coughlin did it for the Giants, and he changed, and look what he did. You know, what he accomplished, 2 rings. So, you know, you got to play a little more. You know, your bench, you got them on there. You need to stretch them out. You need to bring those fresh legs. These guys are young. You got lottery pick players there are young. bring them in to 5 minutes to run and go ahead and play. And if you do lose the game, then we, as fans, that's why we're fans. We're sitting our butts in the seats. We're not coaching. But when you keep doing the same results over and over, you keep doing the same plays and you're getting the same results, I think something, it's a definition of insanity trying to figure, and we want to see, these kids get the opportunity to play. They're here. So I'm not saying give Obi minutes, 20 minutes. I'm just saying, don't let them sit on the bench. You go in there halftime and they're sitting. Then they go through most of the 3/4 of the third quarter, and then you bring them in and you want them, to build a lead or hold a lead, and they're cold. And those are things that happen night on. And then when you need to get back, we use so much energy to get back. And then when we need to go for the final juggernaut to win or to take the lead, we're gassed, we're tired. And we've seen that with all those games. Just imagine if we played off the vine. We could be, in command of the fourth, dare I say, fighting for a game and a half away from the third seed, and that's the frustrating part.
Yeah, I agree to on everything about that. And it's another thing we all got to keep in mind too. Let's forget Tom Thibodeau. Tom Thibodeau ain't shooting the basketball. Tom Thibodeau ain't rebounding. Tom Thibodeau ain't making turnovers. Sometimes we got to realize that the players are the ones playing the ball game. You could throw out all the game plans. Listen, Julius Randle missed a shot. R.J. Barrett missed a shot. Alfred Payton got torched by Kyrie Irving, not Tom Thibodeau. You know what I'm saying? Kyrie Irving was giving it to them. That I think once you hit that floor at an NBA ball player, it's about competing. You ain't getting on me, I ain't scoring on you. I'm gonna lock you down, you gonna lock me down. And if you lose that mentality, no matter what the coach throw out there, the coach can execute a perfect game plan. But if you don't go out there and execute as a player, that means that you worked all season shooting on your free throws, you worked on your jump shot, you worked on your defense. That's to me, that's one of the major things to me that I see the difference this year than last year. You got to go out there and play against your man. You know what I mean? It's mano, man up, let's get it popping. Because when the Knicks win, when the Knicks win game, Tom Thibodeau still play the same. He played the same minutes. He ain't changed. And the win, he played the same amount of minutes. They winning. You know what I mean? So that's the reason why I said we 24 and 25 for a reason. And I think what he have done, the way he coached, I have no problem with the way he coaches this team. Because you know why? Look where we at. Look what we got. But at the same time, like I said, look at the games where this guy might go. R.J. Barrett against Miami only had 8 points. That wasn't Tom Thibodeau for. R.J. Barrett wasn't shooting the ball. Or let's say, we lose the last game we played to the Nets. Them Caps was missing critical shots. They was down in the fourth quarter. They was missing chippies. I'm like, so it's hard. I understand how people may feel, but this is the NBA. They got the best trainers in the world, the best medicine in the world. I mean, these guys are top notch. They shouldn't be getting tired. No way. Not compared to the way they were back in the 70s when you didn't have all these trainers, the new type, all types of technology. So I think it can happen, but I think on a back-to-back, okay, I can give it the leg thing about it. But you know what, man, I think the games we losing BX at just dealing with the 48 minutes in the closing, I think a lot of that is on the players. Because like I said, if Julius Randle would have hit that shot last night, we wouldn't be talking about Tom Thibodeau right now. Nobody would. You wouldn't even be in the conversation because we won the game. So that's why we try to say, man, once that ball get tossed in the air, you got to go out there and battle. And we battling, we just not closing. You know what I mean? And I think that's the key to do. We not closing the games, man. We giving up them 18-point leagues. You know what I mean? I think that's more about that said you letting your man get off on you. Like put it like the last night, Julius Randle should have took that person with Jeff Green. Because think about the game Julius Randle had. See that wasn't a good plus minus because Jeff Green had a good game. So it washed Julius Randle out last night. You know what I mean? Julius Randle had his 19 something, but Jeff Green had almost the same number that he had. You know what I mean? So to me, it was almost like Julius Randle had a good game, but it didn't mean nothing because Jeff Green got off. So you got to go in there and lock your man down. That's why Tom Thibodeau say you got to play defense. You got to go for 48 minutes. You shouldn't let your man score on you. And if he score on you, that's the results. And I just think that was the key to the game last night, not finishing that in the end of that third quarter, man. They started not playing the way they're supposed to play. Like you said, they were going ISO, like you said. They wasn't distributing the ball. Alfred Payton making these crazy turnovers to change the momentum. So I agree with you. A lot of that stuff took place last night. And we just got to be better at it. We got to be better at closing these games out, man. Because like I said, you think about the game we should have won in Minnesota. We gave that away. 18 turnovers. 18 turnovers, bro. That's, you know what I mean? So it's hard to put it into, put it into words when you playing that way, man. And I think we just got to get better at it. I think we will. We 24-25. We still in there, man. Knicks fan, don't be getting discouraged. We got the toughest, one of the third or fourth toughest schedule in the association. It ain't easy, going up against these guys. And Brooklyn, don't get me wrong, we wanted to win the game, but they do got a better team. You know what I mean? So we do got to take things into perspective. A lot of these teams we playing got better talent than us, period. You know what I mean? So, and I just think that we got to also remember that what the Knicks is doing and what they're achieving is phenomenal with the talent that they have. You know what I mean? I think we cannot lose sight of that. We got somebody who just made the All-Star, our second best player to only come into his rookie second year. You know what I mean? And other than them two, everybody else is just like, so, we got to also keep things in perspective about why I'm so thrilled about the Knicks being 24-25. Look at the talent that we have, you know what I mean? And we don't have the superior talent like a lot of these teams we still hanging there. So, I think that's what it is, man. And we got to get it right, man. And what do you think, man? These 48 minutes, this closing thing, man, we got to work on that.
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna go real quick with the stats. Last night the Knicks shot 46%. They were 40 from 86 shooting. Brooklyn was 45%. We had a better field goal percentage. We shot close to 50% from the 3-point line. We were 14 of 29 for 48%, and Brooklyn was 10 out of 32, 31%. We even had the edge in free throws, 18 to 22, 81%, and Brooklyn shot 76%. But the big number that's happening a lot, night in, night out, is we're getting out hustled. They had 11 offensive rebounds. That's extra possessions for Brooklyn or the opposition teams. You're playing more, you're spending more energy on defense because you're giving up that offensive rebounding. And they even out rebounded us totally. They had 45 and we had 41 total rebound points. The assists were pretty much a wash, 24-27. And they had 2 more blocks, and the turnovers. We had 12 turnovers over to 10. And those 12 turnovers, we have to play a low turnover game in order to win because we don't have the quite, like you said, the full talent. But when we play together as a team and we secure the ball and we shoot like this, and that's what's the frustrating part. They had a really good, statistically, all in all, good game. They scored 112 points, but they gave up more than they normally would. And the thing is, they gave it. Kyrie was going to get his points no matter what. I could live with that, and that play at the end, and they should have doubled him from the 5-minute mark of the fourth quarter because you've seen the unforced errors by Kyrie Irving that gave us the chance to tie the game and actually, get ahead. But you got to see that when you can't let guys that are a third stringer on 10-day contracts like a Alize Johnson come in here and run them up. You can't. And one thing I wanted to see when the guy was going down the paint and driving nuts, I wanted a Gibson or someone to knock him on his rear end and send a message. Even if they gave it out, so what? We get a flagrant one, but he sends a message. Hey, who are you to come in here and try to run amok? On this team, you're on a 10-day contract, young man. They need to play that type of, that kind of aggression, that kind of statement needed to be put there. They needed to put Alize on his rear end. He was getting too comfortable, and and you can't allow these players to come in and do that, And I like this that the Knicks are playing better again. They're playing better against the zone currently now, and they are playing much better. They're moving the ball, and they're trying not to get into that, but these same unforced errors are happening, and we got to get it cleaned up. That's what frustrates because you've seen the same mistakes and the same mental errors, the same errors over and over again. And it's got to be something, and with the players, if something is not clicking, and it's not. I don't blame them, like you said, it's not coaching, but also could help if you help them, give them a little more time to catch their breath. And I think when Payton did that turnover and Julius wanted to go to ISO, I think Thibodeau should have called when he called that timeout. I text you, I think they should take Payton out just to let him get out for a couple minutes. Even if he brings them back to close the fourth quarter or start the fourth, bring him back. I'm not saying bench him for the whole game. Take him out in that moment because he's right now his head is not in the game right now. Something's up that he's being a negative on the court, and he didn't. He left them in there. He wanted to stick them out, with it. So and he paid the price. I think that's the turning point of the whole game because it gave Brooklyn that momentum, and momentum, and they just steamroll, and they just took it. They took it and ran with it, and they actually finished, like I said, a 1 point lead going into the fourth. No business for them to be in that 1 point lead at all. Up 13 with what is it, 7 minutes? It's like what? It's like, are you kidding me? No Harden, Kyrie was doing his thing, but really, you had guys that Alizé, you had Green, he turned back the clock. He thought he was in OKC, Jeff Green. It's like, really, he turned. When did you turn into Scottie Pippen? It's like, what's going on? It's like those are the type of things that frustrates. Because I think that we've seen the potential and we know that this team could be better, despite the deficiencies in their talent and all. And I think we know that this team could give us more and be better. That's why we get frustrated and we kind of want to see them do better because we know we've seen it. We watch games night in, night out, and we watch every play and every minute of it, and we know the potential of this team. And that's where we see that frustration on that.
Yeah, I agree. Because one thing I do got to, like I said, now don't get me wrong, we got to hold the coaches accountable too. But one thing I do agree on what you said, and let me reiterate. When you notice like Julius Randle last night, he wasn't he was good, but he wasn't efficient. But I seen when he looked like somebody pointed out in the chat. Dan said can't lie, Julius looked a little hurt before the last possession. I agree with that. He did, and early in the third quarter when Julius Randle wasn't really. I think I could agree with making that change then, but you know what's so disappointed? If you bring Obi in, he might wasn't going to give you what Julius going to give you with Julius, and you know what I mean. When he tired, even with Julius tired, I think Thibodeau think that he can get more out of him than Obi Toppin. Which is, I understand that I would rather bring Obi Toppin, and I agree because to me, I was like, no, coach, why don't you take Randle out right now for a minute? He looked like he laboring, and it looked like he the last couple of possessions he wasn't into it. Give him a breather, so and bring. But then like if you bring Toppin in. I think he's scared the game is so close and the momentum is starting to change. He don't want it to get away from him. Because he said, what if Obi Toppin had a couple of bad defense lapses, which can happen as a rookie because he's been having it this year. And what about if he get into I don't score? You know what I mean? He knows Julius Randle.
The floor out. I think. What about Devine? Why don't I think about stretching the floor out? Right. Right. Yeah. What about quick? What about stretching the floor out and bringing Knox could rebound, or not even Knox? Try to run a three guard a lineup and try that if you're really afraid of Obi Toppin playing in there, something different, a little wrinkle. That I agree with you 100% there, Divine. Absolutely.
I believe it or not, the way Elfwood played last night, he should have brought Franken in that last quarter just to play some defense. You know what I mean? And so I can understand from this part of Tom Thibodeau, I would like to see him improve, just like you said. So use some of these players in certain situations. You know what I mean? They don't got to, even if they play 30 seconds. You say, you know what? We got two. I understand you don't want to make the other man feel bad, but they grown men. You know what? We got a defense. We need a defense stop. We got 10, 15 seconds. Let me bring Frank in for a minute. You know what I mean? Go sit this guy down, bring Frank in, and let's see if Frank can make it harder on somebody. And if it stop him, you got the ball, you take Frank back out. You know what I mean? So I would like to see him improve on that. But it is what it is, man. Them the keys and to the game last night. Some of the things that we seen, going into last night. Salute to everybody in the chat, man. Knicks Real Talk the Night Show, man. BX Jedi, Divine, we in here, man, with the chat. Dan, Tim, everybody. Brooklyn Belly, we all up in here, man. Just talking Knicks. So it's good, man. And Tim Smith said, Page and Cornerstone. Nah, don't page them yet. Nah, it's all love. You know what I mean? But yeah, man. So we just got to get back to our grind and get back to it, man. Get back to the basics, man. And let's try to rebound, you know what I mean, and get another win. But real quick though, another non-Knick news. Congrats, Baylor National Championships. Let's get that out there. Baylor salute. I watched some of that game last night. Them boys go hard. They go hard. Them boys can play some basketball down in Baylor, man. Them dudes, you talking about gritty. They had me thinking like the way the New York played. Them cats were scrapping last night. I was like, okay. So congrats to Baylor, man. National chance, man. That was the good game, and y'all went from beginning to the end, man. They came in, punch Gonzaga right in the mouth, man. After that, they like, okay, now we got 2 days, brother, and that's it. So it was a real good game. I enjoyed watching it. That's So congrats to Baylor, man, national championship, no doubt. And yeah, man, but we got to get ready for this up and coming schedule. BX, man, we got Boston in the house coming up, so we're gonna throw up that up and coming schedule. We got Boston tomorrow and Boston. We got the Grizzlies at Memphis. Then we come back for Toronto, the Lakers. Then we go at the Pelicans, man. So we got to find a way to get back to it, man. This up and coming schedule is important, man. Going into Beantown tomorrow. They trying to stay above water as well. They haven't been playing good basketball. So, we got to go in Boston and compete tomorrow, man. And hopefully we can go in there and get this win, man. Get a road win and get us back to 500, man. So we got to see what's going on, brother. What you think?
Absolutely. I want to go real quick around the league. Real quick. We have current games going on in association. We have the Chicago Bulls in Indiana. They're currently up 110-93. That's in 3 minutes in the fourth quarter. We also have Atlanta up hosting the Pelicans. They're currently up 85-73. That's in the third quarter. And we have the big game that we're keeping an eye on is Philadelphia into Boston, and they're currently up 64-48. That game is nationally televised on TNT. And we have the Lakers currently up 74-48 against the Raptors in in Tampa. Excuse me. And then at the half, we have Memphis Grizzlies 68, and they're in Miami, and Miami currently has 57 points, and that game is at half. So other games we'll keep it on tonight. It hasn't tipped off. Denver is hosting Detroit. Milwaukee's at Golden State. Portland is in the Clippers. And that's the game around the association. We're getting ready for tomorrow. Let's preview the game with Boston Celtics, the New York Knicks. We're getting the Celtics on a back-to-back, but fortunately, we've seen with these back-to-backs, it hasn't, the Knicks haven't capitalized or taken advantage on teams on back-to-back. Hopefully, they could do this with the Boston Celtics. Right now if this score holds, it looks like we're going to be fighting for that positioning with the Celtics, no matter what, win or lose, and they're one of the teams that are behind us, and we need to take care of our game. They're going to come out. They have a memory. They're like elephants. They remember that 40-point drubbing that we gave them earlier in the season. So we have to. They're gonna come a little chip on the shoulder. Hopefully, Philadelphia really it sorts them a lot, and expose them, and they come out nick and bruise, and we could take advantage of it. Because it doesn't get any easier, folks. We don't have any long days. Is 1 day rest and next game. 1 day rest, next game until the season. This is really a sprint now. There's no time off. There's no So we need to continue to execute and play our game, and that's why I keep saying the bench is going to be really important. We need to maybe we need to play 11 deep. To play. Maybe some nights we need to bring in an extra few minutes of a Frank Ntilikina when we have a big bleed. Or if we need some scoring and stretching, a Knox, man. We got to get these guys in there, and hopefully they're putting their work, man, in practice, guys. So I hope you guys are putting your work in practice to the young guys, Thibodeau, and force the hand to put you in the game and all that, because we really going to need the bench really, really key. We're going to need everybody. It's a team effort, and we're going to need the big 15. Absolutely, we definitely need it. And one thing I wanted to bring up that I text you about, and we need to keep an eye on, with Alec Burke rapport with Obi Toppin. There's a few plays that I've seen that he's not feeding them the ball on a fast break. He had him on the wing, and he decided to dish the ball back to Noel, and he was coming up the 3-point line, and he turned the ball over on a fast break opportunity. And another point when he was driving, he had Obi also cutting, and he didn't decide to go to him. Those things, he looks him away a lot. It's something I hope they could fix that in practice. I hope the chemistry between them is not there. I see with Quickly, and Quickly's having a little bit of a wall. He's not his usual self. Hopefully he bounces back against Boston tomorrow night. He gets a good bounce back game. We could use Quickly. Where that absence is missing. I understand that he's been trying to get everyone involved, but I like we're missing his floater and his aggressiveness to score. And he also wants to try to get a lot of the whistles. Just don't do your game. Forget about the refs and forget about the whistles. It's gonna come with time, but right now teams are getting a scouting report on him, and they're kind of like not falling into his head fake. And those are something that we need to keep an eye on those going forward, and hopefully they clean it up in between the shoot arounds, because they don't have practice, but they do have a shoot around, and I know they're watching film, video, and all that. And I just wish we had more time to a day or 2 days in a row to at least have them work with the coaching staff one on one and fine tune, because that's what this is really needing. There's a lack of time to fine tune and go through practice and a long extensive practice to really bring up the message and see, hey, this is what I'm seeing on film, and make those adjustments. Divine.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, I think so because I think quickly is I think he needed to follow through with the form, not worry about getting bumped. Because I think when you're trying to set yourself to get bumped, I mean your shooting rhythm is off. You know what I mean? So I think he need to worry about making the shot first and getting fouled second. You know what I mean? And just go ahead and get your form right, get straight up. Whatever way you're shooting, just make sure you straight up and shoot, and then worry about the bump. Because sometimes you looking to get the bump, then shoot. No, shoot and hope you get the bump. You know what I mean? And I think that's what he needed to do, man. But you're right, though. I hope everybody got a bounce back game tomorrow in Boston, guys. We going in there trying to get this W, man. So that we talk about that on the morning show. But if that's the first game on the up and coming schedule, and then we got to go to Memphis against we got to go against the Grizzlies, man. My man John Morant and them guys down there, Brooks and all them guys down there, man. They balling. Jalatonis, them guys playing good basketball. They trying to. They competing for that buy-in. They play that up and ground grind, up and down the pace basketball. Man, they going to get it. So we got to go into Grizzlies too, and we got to try to win that game as well. We about to go on the road, and we got to try to, Dan said, we really need a good stretch of wins. We do. We need to get some stretch of wins in there, man. So hopefully it can start in Boston tomorrow, man, because it's just so every game we do. Look at the game we losing by 1 point, 2 points. Other than the Dallas game, which that was just an offensive nightmare. You know what I mean? But all the games that we've been competing and staying competitive in, we lose about a couple of points. And so it sometimes it's discouraging, but it also said, damn, they competing because they only lose by a certain amount. If they just had a better shot here or another rebound here, or they could have won the game. So let's hope that they don't lose sight of that and go in there because like I said, then they home against the Raptors and the Lakers. You know what I mean? That we got a tough schedule, man. That's the reason why the association said we got the fourth toughest schedule in this time of the year, the third. So we got to go in there and try to get it. And this schedule is going to be important. So Celtics tomorrow, then we just got to fly to Memphis, and to try to you got to win there and get back home, But we do need that streak. Sylvie, what's up, Thomas? Sylvie Thomas, we see you, my brother. Thanks for chiming in the chat. Salute to everybody out there in the chat, out on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Knicks fans in general, man. Y'all know what the Knicks Real Talk Tonight Show is. The man Divine, BX Jedi 76. Salute, hit that thumbs up, man. Subscribe to the channel. Show the brothers some love. Because it's from the fan for the fans. But y'all know y'all make the show. When we don't make the show, y'all make the show, man. So yeah, man, we got an up and coming schedule we got to deal with and everything, man. And and we just got to go get it. You know what I mean? We got to go get it and go in there and battle. And let the chips fall where they may, because it's about we do for some wins, man. We really been 1-3, 1-3, 1-4 in the last so many games. That's not good. You know what I mean? That's not good. So we definitely gotta, go get that BX, man. And right now, like I said, we eighth in the Eastern Conference standings, man. So what you think about where we were and where we at right now?
Well, a week ago, that's how serious this Eastern Conference and how much parity is in it. A week ago, we were fourth, and now we dropped down to eighth. But we just got to get back on track and win our games, and we could climb, quickly. The same way no pun intended, but we could climb up quickly and get back up to the fourth and third or fifth seed, and continue grinding on it. And little by little, we could go back into it. We just got to play our game and win our games. The Boston game is going to be another tough game. We need to win that game. That's a must win. We need to win that game. It's a Eastern Conference foe that on top of our heels. We want to keep the distance on them, get the season series on them as well for a tiebreaker situation, and keep moving forward. And then we got Western Conference Grizzlies. They're tough. They're a tough team. When you play in the out of conference the foe, you don't know what you're going to get. How well you're going to match against them, how well you're going to go against them. But, Western Conference teams are a little more, always gives a little bit of an issue, but. I don't see, why not the Knicks cannot play that. If they play their game, they'll give, a hard time to any team. We've seen it. As long as they play with that defensive intensity and then the way they play the defense and the way they play the Knicks basketball game, they're in every game. So, anything could happen. I don't rule them. I don't see them getting blown out any sense on them either. And for everyone in the chat that wants to see the lottery tanking, why? You got so far. You passed expectation level. I just wanted to address that. I seen that in a lot of different chats and different areas. They want to go, oh, let's tank. No, that's we change the perspective of the team, the culture, the atmosphere. We don't with the tanking is so last year. No, no, we're close to getting into the playoffs. Let's get in the playoffs. Let's get these young guys that playoff experience, that playoff. What's the taste of being in a playoff? What's the all that atmosphere feels like? Even if we go in there and we lose four straight games, but we got into the playoff atmosphere. We tasted, we seed it. We want to leave that taste in their mouth so next year, so they could go on the off season. Man, we got embarrassed in the playoffs, and I didn't like that for you. And we want them to come with that vengeance. I want to get back. I like the atmosphere. I want to continue. I want to go on a run, see what it feels like. So tanking is going to be, they're going to be ready for golf, and the players don't care. It's the front office who's the ones that are going to get all giddy because the ping pong balls and who they're going to draft and all the speculation. We want to, the players work hard. We want to see them go to the finish line and go into the playoff run. So looking forward with these next few games, we need like dances. We need to get on the run. We need to get on the run. We need to go start it. And I don't see why not. We can't. We've done it all season. Every time we think we're done, we get down. The team comes back resiliently and they come playing game. And despite the fact that we have the second hardest schedule, I think in the Eastern Conference or all in NBA, it's the second. We started off the fourth when we opened up the second half, but it's saw it on the shoot around is the second in the NBA shoot around on ESPN that they're the second hardest schedule to going forward, and the Raptors is the first. So Raptors, the team that we're chasing, they have a tough schedule, but you know what's a law of averages, Divine. We lost games that we should have lost, and we have to win games that we should have not. We should be underdogs, and we need to win those games as well. Here and there, and that's what's going to propel us to keep us. Like you said, the beginning of the season, a 500 team. I hope that they are 2-3 games over 500 going into this playoff. Like I said, they're going to finish fifth, flirt with fourth, over and on, and just don't let these losing streaks continue. And unfortunately, we're not the only team in the association that's gone into a tough stretch, a tough 10 games. You saw Miami lose 6 in a row. You've seen other teams in this conference go through these struggles too. So I guess it's now our turn. But you know what? Let's limit it. Let's cut the water off from the leak and go ahead and continue to build and repair and regroup and go back to fundamentals. Like I always said, it's going to be one possession, one quarter, one half, one game at a time, and we take those steps, those small goals. I think we'll be in good shape, Devon.
Sounds good. Yeah, that's absolutely, man. Salute to the panel. Us here. I got a panel guest coming on. My man DA going to join the panel in a minute. And welcome aboard, DA. But yeah, man, we just got to keep it going, man. We got to keep grinding and battling it out, man. And we get there, man. It's a sprint. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. You know what I mean? We got to run this race to the end. But we on a losing streak. But I really believe that by the amount of the points we've been losing and things of that nature, that we'll be all right, man. So let's hope that we just continue to grind and we'll work this thing out, man. Dan A, salute, my brother. How you doing tonight?
Doing good. I'm doing good, fellas. I was just listening in. Wanted to talk Knicks after that tough loss, but you move on to the next game. I'm watching the Celtics get spanked by the Sixers right now, so hopefully we give them a dosage of that tomorrow.
Yes. How you doing, my brother? You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good right now. I was just I was listening to what BX was saying, and I actually wanted to chime in on that. I wanted to double down on what. Go ahead.
No, I'll say yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you chimed in, man. Go ahead, man. And it's all good, brother. Welcome aboard. Do your thing.
Oh, thank you. First of all, salute to everyone. Salute to the chat. Salute to Nick's family. And what I really wanted to say is just double down on it. Like the season is 72 games this year, and we're 51 games in. At this point now, if we were to tank the rest of the season, it would just continue the narrative that we're a laughing stock. Number two, if anyone thinks that a lottery pick is going to come here and crack the rotation on a Thibodeau lineup after what we've done so far, you're out your mind. It's just not happening. So for those two reasons alone, we've come too far to like flame out now. We have to finish strong.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
agree.
Yeah, I agree with you, brother. We got to go hard or go home now. You know what I mean? Like it always been. You know what I mean? And I think we still in good. I'll be in a good place, man. 24-25, man. I'll take that. You know what I mean? With the way we've been losing 1 point here, 2 points there, 3 points there. I mean, you do think about them games would have went a different way just by a couple of shots, man. We'd be looking at 27 and you know what I mean, something like that. We be killing it right now. So I understand this is a discouraging loss last night, but Knick fans stay positive, man. We gonna be here. You know what I mean? We gonna be in this. I just think that just like we had a losing streak, we get a winning streak, like you said before you came on, Dan, and when you put it in the chat, we just needed a good little winning streak, and I think we'll get it. I think we just gotta just learn, keep learning every day. Like I said, I listened to, the Tibbs in the press conference. I tried to get his video up here for some reason, the technical difficulty. I couldn't get all the highlights going on today, so I apologize for that. But he was like, "Listen, man, we got to play 48 minutes. You know what I mean? You play 2.5 good quarters, or 2 3/4 of quarters good, and that last quarter, that third quarter, at the end of that third quarter, man, you got to keep maintain that intensity." And I was telling Bitch, you got to go 48 minutes nonstop because especially when you playing somebody like Kyrie Irving, you know what I mean. This cat can get you buckets in spurts and minutes and quickly. You know what I mean, real quickly. No pun intended. But so we got just play 48 minutes, man. Because when we play 48 minutes of good basketball, the Knicks just about could beat anybody. You know what I mean? And like I said, man, not having Mr. Robinson in that neighborhood, man, controlling that neighborhood down there, it's tough. You know what I mean? People don't underestimate what Mitchell Robinson means to this team. You know what I mean? That cat, nerves are well. He protects the rim. Mitchell Robinson protects the whole zone. You know what I mean? That cat protect from the paint to the 3-point line. He's all over the place. And I think we missed that a little bit when it comes to that, man. So we just got to get back at it, man. BX, what you thinking, man? We in the 8th seed, man. We gonna stay between that 8th or 4. I think Miami got that 4 seed lock. I'm telling y'all. I think that's a wrap. I think Miami got that 4 seed locked. I just think that they they were the Eastern Conference champs last year. They and it ain't how you start, it's how you finish. You know what I mean? And they started off slow. They gonna finish strong because that's a Pat Riley team. You know what I mean? That every sports that's his team. They get down like that. So I think getting the firepower that they got with Oladipo coming in there and a couple of other players they got, Trevor Ariza, they built for this. Let's not get it twisted. The Miami Heat is built for this. So they look like they're gonna take that 4 seed, man. I think from that 5th to that 8th is where all everybody else gonna be competing for. Let's hopefully we can get up in that 5th to 6th, man, and avoid that buy-in. So I'm looking forward to that. What you think, BX?
Yeah, absolutely. I still say they're gonna finish 5th. We'll see what the other teams do. Miami they're good. They're good, but they could have injuries. They could have injuries, nuts and bruises. Remember, no one has a lot of time off. It's 1 day off and back to the grind. 1 day off, back to the grind. Is whoever comes out healthiest out of all this and playing their game it's gonna be jockeying and it's gonna be in good shape. A lot of guys are coming back from reinforcement for the big dog teams. You're gonna have Embiid is back, and then you're gonna have looking around the league. You're gonna have LeBron back and AD back and all the other players come back. It's whoever finishes off healthy and together. And I think I hope that we went through our injury rash and it's over with us. No more injuries, no more. No more. Everyone comes out of this healthy, and we could play our game together. And the more we are more healthier, the more we're going to gel and play better as a team. And we've seen that we just signed John Henderson, and he's going to be on the team. Another power forward, another power forward / center. Let's see if Thibodeau's going to use him, or he's just going to sit there on the bench and just sit there and just be part as an emergency case. So we'll see how that goes, and we'll see how that goes with going around and moving forward. And I see how that goes, Dan.
All right, before we move on to the next segment, Dan, man, what do you think about this Eastern Conference race, man? What's your thoughts on this Eastern Conference standard we got going on right now?
First, I think the Hornets, because Gordon Hayward, he surprised me with the season he's having right now, but he just recently suffered a foot sprain, I believe, and they said he's going to be out for 4 weeks. So I expect the Hornets to do a bit of a dip. The Hawks are a mystery to me because they're going through in a sense, what we went through last year when as soon as their head coach got fired, the next guy up, you see them playing a lot better for that guy. So the Hawks are the mystery to me. That and the Bulls, those two teams are the only teams that are kind of like they're they're the question marks because the Raptors they're so inconsistent. I don't see them finishing out strong. They
Mm.
you are what your record says you are, and so far they've been close enough to like reach just enough to talk about contention, but they haven't really gotten to it. I don't see the Raptors as a team to fear, but the Bulls and the Hawks, those are the two teams that concern me. So as far as the race goes, I I'd like us to finish right there in the fifth seed, but if we do fifth or sixth, I'm not too mad at that. It would just mean we'd have to play more games against better competition, but that's fine. That's what development is for our team. And this is a development year, so we need all of that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, I agree with you 100%. And I think we stay competitive. I think we stay in there. Like I said, I think we get it together, man. We've been playing good basketball. We just haven't been closing these games out. But we've been playing good basketball. You know what I mean? We really have, man. Since that first net game, we played them good. We played Philly good. We had a couple of letdowns here and there, and it happened. Like I said, it's association is a long season. You're not going to win every night. You know what I mean? Nobody is. But we just got to get better at closing these games, playing 48 minutes, and I think we're going to be all right in going down the last 21 games. I think this is a really important stretch. I hope we can get back, catch our stride tomorrow against Boston. I hope we can go in there and say, you know what, we need this game. We need to stay at 500. I'm hoping we can go in there tomorrow and let put this next game behind us. You know what I mean? And remember that we are fighting for something. You know what I mean? We fighting to be at a certain place so we can get to the playoffs and try to make some noise. So hopefully that would that's where the ball bounces, man. We get a good bounce back game tomorrow. But yeah, man, real quick, we brought in, like you said, welcome John Henson. John Henson, he a guy of mine, North Carolina Tar Heel guy. You know what I mean? So salute to John Henson for coming on the Knicks team, man. If he filling the roster spot, so be it. You know what I mean? But I know he got some skill down the defense and he can contribute. You know what I mean? He's another body. Who he gonna move in front of? I have no idea if that's gonna even be the case. Because even what's his name? Pale. No, I don't know. He didn't play because of his finger, but he didn't get no minutes. Frank didn't get no minutes. Knox didn't get no minutes. So it don't nothing change too much. You know what I mean? I really believe that. I just think that he's just a body to fill out a roster spot. And if one of our bigs go down, we got another one to replace. I like John Henson's game though. You know what I mean? I always did. I think he can play down in that post pretty good. You know what I mean? He got a nice little hook shot in his arsenal, but he definitely can be in that low post though. You know what I mean? So that's helpful. And we just gotta, I said, see how that come. But welcome John Henson, man. Welcome to the Knicks on the 10-day. Hopefully he come in here and blend in with the team. You know what I mean? If he work, he ball out, that they need to give him another 10-day contract, keep him the rest of the season, which I think they probably will anyway. I think him and Norvell, I think they probably stay the rest of the year. It's only 21 games left. With time this 10-day contract up, give him another one. You know what I mean? And like I said, we know Mitch not coming back, so we're gonna. And that's what I do like about Norvell, that I'm saying his name right, and John Henson. They do got that presence down there, just like the other guys we got. So that's cool. But welcome aboard though, man. And yeah, man, we just got to go get it, man, and try to put it all out there, man. And we got to just keep battling, man. We just got to do what we got to do, man. So we're going into Boston tomorrow. They got obviously Jason Tatum and them guys, and Brown and all them guys. Kemba Walker, I don't know if he's playing or not. I know he's been in and out. They just got Fournier. You know what I mean? They got Williams down there in the middle. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they got a decent team down there. That's why they're 25-25. But you know what? I think we could compete against them. I know that for sure. So I'm hoping Knicks just brush this off they had the other day and go into Boston and say, it's another day, another game, and we go in there and battle this thing, BX man, and try to get this Boston W, brother.
Yeah, we need to go in there and not just for winning for us, we need to also take that season series, man. That's a big pivotal game that we need to get that, have that odds against, for in our pocket when we go down for seeding, because this is going to be tight. This whole season is going to be tight. All this, and we need to get that one game in hand on the Boston Celtics. And go ahead and one thing I wanted to bring up, I noticed that in the buyout market, and I saw the Pelicans, they're gearing up with an eye on tomorrow. They brought in Isaiah Thomas to come play for them, a point guard. I was like, we really needed a point guard. It would have been something that they would have gave him a 10-day contract, because when Isaiah Thomas is on, he really is on. He could see what he has. I'm like, some of the moves, kind of puzzles me with the Knicks. I know that Henson's going to be a good contributor to the team, and Novel's a good contributor, but I wish they would have addressed the point guard, and I don't see any point guard on the buy market that could help, just to come and spell. I'm not saying he's going to come here to be a starter, but we need another point guard on the team, because obviously it's not Frank. He's not going to play. Frank Ntilikina is not going to be the point guard. He's a situational. Some type of veteran out there. I think Isaiah Thomas would have been a really nice fit for that. It's a shame that he ended up with the Pelicans. I wish him well, because he's trying to revive his career, and I know they Pelicans are looking for life after Lonzo Ball, because we all know where he's coming.
Yeah. Dan, let me ask you a question. Well, how do you feel about that point guard situation with the Alpha Payton Derrick Rose thing? What's your thought on, should one start, or should one? Do you think it should be Derrick Rose starting or Alpha Payton starting? What do you think about that?
Honestly, I do want Derrick Rose to start, but the fact that he's coming back from injuries and COVID, I understand why Tibbs is doing what he's doing as far as taking his time with Derrick Rose. So I feel like we have no choice but to go with Alfred, because like I understand to a certain degree, like people say they want IQ on the court, but like you can't take away the fact that Alfred and Randall have played together for like, what is it, 3 years now?
Right.
Two, maybe 3 years now. They have a certain chemistry together. And granted, right now we're just seeing that Randall and Bullock's chemistry is flourishing. There's more to, I see there's a lot more with this team to develop. So as far as the point guard position, I understand why we have Alfred starting where he is.
I got you. Yeah, I agree with Brooklyn Bellion. Peyton defense is better. This wasn't better last night, but it is better than Derrick Rose. Yeah, but Kyrie Irving just giving him the business last night, man. And it happens. Like I said, you go against the creme de la creme, so it can happen. But man, he was giving it to him last night. I was like, come on.
It wasn't even the fact.
It's the 25. I think Derrick Rose is going to give us 25.
No, I was just saying, it wasn't even the fact that. Yeah, I know that much, but like with Alfred Payton last night, it wasn't even the fact that you have Kyrie by yourself. It's just that we literally saw the double team work beforehand. So then you chose the next possession to wave it off. And then the possession right after that, we go back to the double team and it works again. So it just makes your decision look really bad in that moment. That's what kills it. Like that's.
Do you think he called it off, or they just didn't do it? Do you think he probably said just man up, or do you think they just didn't? The Knicks players, because of their mindset, they didn't go do the double team, or you think he decided not to do the double team?
I think the possession before, when they went to double team, he kicked it out to someone and got it back and tried to shoot a quick shot, and he missed. So I'm guessing Alfred thought he was out of possession. He was out of rhythm, but it's Kyrie Irving. You're giving him space to dribble. That's how he gets his rhythm. So you got to know your personnel.
Right. And he's a floor general out there, regardless of, if he's a 1-star or 5-star, he's a 1-star general. Payton is the floor general, so the team has to respect when he tells them to wave them off for that double team. So you got to see that, and like you said, he thought he was off rhythm, but you can't. He, like the words of Stephen A. Smith, he's a bad man, Kyrie. So that. So you got to give props, and I wish they would have doubled, because you saw the turnover, the possession before that, after that, and before that, and man, if we just would have stopped that three from going in, it'd be a different story. But it would have, could have, should have. If my aunt had testicles, she'd be my uncle. So.
Right. Yeah. You know, and that's that. You know, you learn as you go, though. You know what I mean? And that's part of the process too. You learn off your mistakes, and you go. So hopefully, every time they do something like they learn and they're getting better. They say, "Wow, man, next time." Tiz might even say, "Next time, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna throw the trap every time." So it's a learning process for him too. You know what I mean? Nobody's perfect, you know, and but that's one. Like I said, y'all right, man. He should have threw that double team constantly for that last couple of seconds, a minute, whatever. But you live and you learn, you know what I mean? And maybe we would have did certain things different. We wouldn't even got to that. You know what I mean? We were having that conversation. They wouldn't have had a bad third quarter at the end. So but we got to learn off our mistakes and keep it moving. And I think they will, man. It's like I said, it's going to be a tough one in Boston tomorrow. You know what I mean? Them cats got a nice athletic line there, man. Tatum and Brown, those are athletic jokers right there. You know what I mean? And Brown, he's a top notch defender. So it's gonna be interesting, man. But real quick, last night I got to give my man RJ some love, though, brother. That boy was his jump shot was smooth last night. I'm like RJ was. I'm like, okay, you know what? Y'all talking all that nonsense. I'm like, yo, RJ had a nice game last night. I love this game last night. I'm like, this boy gonna be special, man. He really. I know it's against the Nets defense, but he's gonna be special gonna come in the next couple of years. But you could believe that. So I really like what I seen from him last night. He was really shooting that ball well. I mean, it was hitting bottom. I'm like, okay, he focused. And in Bullock, what can we say about Bullock? Bullock, man, that the last since the All-Star break, 48% from three. Reggie Bullock in the zone right now. I'm like, he is canning it, bro. So I'm like, okay, they was good. Like I say, sometimes Burke's been hot and he had an off game the last couple, but he had a big get shot three last night to get us up there, man, to tie the game. So it's demoralizing, guys. But at the same time, it keeps me optimistic because I know that these guys are battling. You know what I mean? That they're battling. That's all you can ask for with the talent that we have. And the first time coming together as a team, as a coach, you know what I mean? You don't know these player tendencies. You never coached them before. So no excuse, but a lot of that does go into it. You know what I mean? Because I guarantee you next year, a lot of these mistakes we're making now, you won't see next year. You know what I mean? You won't see them next year. You believe that because okay, this is what you did wrong, that you need to work on from last year, bring it to the next season. And I think they'd be fine, man. So let's go get it in Boston tomorrow, BX, man. What you think about that game tomorrow?
Absolutely. I like the way we match up against their wing players, Bullock and Burke. Also Rose, and I think we have the defensive advantage on those guys. They are good players. Those guys are really good. And also the interior. Boston is not strong interior defense. Tristan Thompson is always going to be a rebound beast. But they you could look for RJ to really go into the paint and score and have his will scoring inside the paint, the way he drives, and especially Randall as well. They're gonna have points in the paint. It's gonna be there for them. They just gotta clean up their rebound. It's not make the mistake with that. And I trust our exterior defense to be around the perimeter to really hold down Boston, down with their shooting. I know they have Fournier as well, who's a creator. Let's see how that's going to fit. If he's gonna, if he's comfortable with the Boston system, we'll find out. We'll see that. But I think our guys have defensively could really match up well against the Boston Celtics. So I think that our defense, as long as we continue playing our defense, and hopefully we can, we get some more emergencies from Obi Toppin as well. He continues that good positive play, and continues to show, that athleticism in the first quarter, in the first half. So maybe he'll get a little more time in the third quarter. He keeps doing positive play and bench. I always said our bench is one of the top benches in the NBA that score points. The high tempo, and keep that going, especially again, that Boston is on a back-to-back. We need to capitalize on the back-to-back. I like the way they're running and they're moving, but I want to, second unit needs to run them out of the court, out of the gym, really, attack, and they're going to be tired, Boston. They're getting plummeted right now by Philadelphia. And that's a good thing for us standing wise, and we just got to beat them. And I think we match up well with them. What do you think, Dan?
I think we match up well against them, very much so. But like you said, transition with our bench. I think Tibbs needs to trust our bench more and extend the leash just a little bit. Give them one more minute out there because we see Randall is gassed. We see the lift on his jumpers are not the same at the end of the games. And we're playing a lot of close games. So we need him for that. But as far as the bench, I think in transition they need to involve Obi more. I noticed that he's getting his own shot more because he's realizing, okay, this is the only time I'm gonna get mine, and I have to be aggressive. So we like that, but now it's to a point where like they're moving in transition, and I'm seeing that he's making these great cuts to where he's wide open under the basket, and they're not looking. We even saw last night where IQ was on the transition, where Taj had that basket that was pulled from the first quarter because he was just like a second too late. Just when the buzzer went off, he was just like a tick too late to get the dunk off. But IQ had him in the rear view the entire time. He just didn't pick his head up. So we need guys
Yeah,
that when they run the floor, they have to pick their heads up. They have to see who's ahead.
yeah, I
Absolutely.
agree. One play I just want real quick. Last night it was a fast break. I think the Knicks made the bucket. I don't know if it was Derrick Rose or somebody, but they had an alley oop that they could have threw to Obi though on that left side. I think he might have kicked it the top for a three or somebody. But man, boy, if he would have got Obi topping that alley oop when that op like, oh, he could have threw that to out. But he made a good a right play too because he got into the 3-point shoot and he hit it. But I was like, boy, if he would have threw that thing to Obi, that would have turned that whole game around. That would have been electrifying right there
Mhm.
because Obi was ready for that. It was
Yeah, you need
Derrick
those. You
Rose.
need those high energy plays. You need that high energy play to get the
Yeah,
crowd, and not just the crowd, but the
yeah.
team going. And
Mhm.
that's what is missing. That sometimes in the game against Dallas, they were lethargic. They need a spark. Those are the type of plays that you need, like those alley oop, those spectacular plays. A good cut. If the guy is doing a good cut, reward the kid. Reward him for
Mhm.
putting in that cut, because then he's just gonna want to just you know what? What's the point of cutting? I'm just gonna stay in the 3 point line, feed me the ball, and I'll chuck it when you bring it to me. You got to reward the players for their hustle on offense, doing the correct cuts, going over the screens, and feeding them. And that's the point and I can see going forward, Derrick Rose is going to start looking for Obi Toppin more. I predicting that. I think you're going to see a good rapport going forward with them, but they got to get Burks involved because Burks sometimes play point guard, and I see Burks don't want to feed Obi the ball one time. I think he doesn't trust him yet, and that's a lack of chemistry and a lack of practice time. So we got to look at that going forward with that.
I'm intrigued. You know what I'm intrigued about? Obi having a full off season. I'm intrigued by the dude coming into coming into the Knicks next year. I think Obi having a full year. That's the oh my goodness. That boy, hey, listen, he's gonna be a problem once he get it right. I mean, he got a nice game. I love his game. I watch his 3 point ball is better than we give him credit for. He's shooting that with confidence, and he on a break. He getting in the lane. He driving. Once he gets settled in, I think from here forward, this is literally a learning year for Obi Toppin per se. To me, this is just a learning year for him. You know what I mean? You're gonna learn this year. You're gonna learn the rigors of the NBA. You're gonna take your bumps and bruises. You're gonna get beat up. We're gonna allow you to take all these butt whippings for you to know what it is to come in the next year. And I think Obi gonna shine next year, yo. I think he's gonna be special. I just think that he's a humble young man. It seems like he's unselfish. You know what I mean? He's a real unselfish ball player, and I think that they might say you got to be a little bit more selfish at times. You know what I mean? If you got that shot, go get it. And I see he's starting to do that. So I'm excited about it, man. And if Obi can give us 8 points a game coming down the stretch, that'd be a big lift for the Knicks, man. You know what I mean? 8 consistent points, man. Hey, listen. So I see, man. I'm intrigued about it, man. I just want to throw that out there because I was like, I want dying to see Obi Toppin with a full training camp or off season. I'm dying to see that, man. I'm dying to see a lot of them do it, man. Because but let me ask you a question: who you think coming back next year, guys? Do you think you look at the Bullocks, you look at the Burks, you know what I mean? Any of these players that you Noel and them, any of these players you see coming back to the Knicks next year?
Um, as f- I see Bullock coming back. I see
Mm-hmm.
Bullock coming back because he's played a very pivotal role. And if you're keeping Randall, you want to keep someone who has that great of chemistry with him. Like we know RJ has a good chemistry with him, but they're hoping
Mm-hmm.
that, RJ develops more so that, he becomes an offense on him, like an offensive power his own self. That way you have that 1-2 punch. But you want to keep Bullock around because he's the guy really that has that good chemistry with Randall, and he also defends the hardest guys to defend night in and night out. That's his assignment every night. And so, like, you got to give him props for that. Noel, I see them keeping Noel because he's been wonderful for us. I don't know. Maybe if Taj wants to come back, they might have a end of the roster spot for him. I don't know what his future holds for him, but those three are the only three I see. And also, speaking to your Obi point earlier, it like an off season is really going to do him good. But also, I just thought of this. The 10-day guys that we're signing, like they also play a pivotal they also play a pivotal role as far as like development also with who these guys practice with. If this was the regular 82 season where you had like a couple of days stretched out in between the games, you could account for Obi's gonna do good because look who he's getting worked by. He has Randall to practice with every day. But now that we're in a playoff push, you're gonna lessen the strain on Randall. So you're not gonna have him and Randall practice together too much. He's not gonna have that soundboard. So when he doesn't have that, yeah, he has the coaches, but he needs someone else. And that's when those 10-day guys who are veterans, those guys come into play. Those guys are very helpful. And you usually notice that when the star players, they tell their stories later on in the league, that, down in their life about who influenced them the most. It's usually some guy at the end of the bench because he had all the time during practice. He wasn't playing, so he was just watching and he helped them out. So I definitely see Obi growing, and along with those 8 points, I see 2 assists coming with that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, absolutely. Yeah, I agree. I think he can play a pivotal role going down the stretch if he keep doing what he's doing and getting more comfortable. And people got to remember, man, the cat for coming out of the gate, he was injured. You know what I mean? He lost some quality time coming into the season, man. First game, you tell he got hurt in preseason. That calf, whatever that case be, he missed a whole about 10, 11, 12 games, 20. I don't know how many it was, but he missed quite a few games. So for and maybe he finally starting to catch a stride. You know what I mean? It takes a while to get acclimated to this thing here, man. And catch up with the speed of the game and realize the competition you're going up against. And I just think he's starting to get it. And I hope he continue prospering, man. Cause I hope Tibbs, like you guys said, Tibbs need to let him, give him a couple more minutes. You know what I mean? Like last night, in that third quarter, Randall started. Randall had a good game, but he was insufficient. Like I said, to me, he was missing a lot of jump shots here and there. Like you said, his leg could have been going. I could have seen him throwing Obi back in there for a minute just to give Randall 2 minutes. He give us just 2 minutes. Okay, hold up, put Obi in there right quick. Give Randall 2 minutes. Let him get some rest. Then whatever, you know what I mean. But I'm hopefully he learned off that and say, you know what, I got to give these guys a break because now we got a tough schedule coming up, man. Like you said, game after game. It ain't no 2 days in between, no 3 days. When you read the schedule to me earlier, BX, it was like game after game, back to back, game after game. You play Tuesday, you play Thursday, you play Saturday. It's like wow, you know what I mean. So the only thing you could do is film and shoot around. That's all you could do for the rest of the year. Film and shoot around. You know what I mean? Get up the next day, study film. Find out what y'all did wrong, what you need to improve on, what you did good, whatever. The next day you go to shoot around, get ready for the game. You know what I mean? So so hopefully they maintain. But I think we still good, fellas. I think we're gonna be in it. I think we're gonna fight to the end. I'm not gonna let I'm disappointed, but I'm not gonna let it discourage me about the loss we had in Brooklyn last night. Because like I said, they compete. That's all you can ask for with a team that we have. They compete, man, and I think that's what New Yorkers want. I think that's what Knicks fans want. I think that's what anybody who's a true Knicks fan, all they want us to do is compete. You could have the worst team in the world, but if you in Madison Square Garden and you competing, them fans will cheer for you all night long. But when they see you laying down and you ain't trying to, it's a whole different story. So I think we continue competing and we catch a break. I think we're gonna be fine, man. So yeah, man, salute to the chat. Salute to the panel. We got Dan A in the building and BX Jedi, man. It's me, Divine. We ain't here. Knicks Real Talk Tonight show. We chilling on a night off. Knicks don't have a game tonight. Obviously, we got a game tomorrow in Boston, in Beantown. We going down there to try to put some work in and bounce back off this loss that we had. That's right. That loss we had against the Nets. So we're going to try to rebound, man, and get it popping. You know what I mean? It's like we got to make this happen. You know what I mean? So I think we will. I think we'll be up for the challenge. I know we coming to play. You know what I mean? I know that for a fact. One day I can say the Knicks coming in that building to play tomorrow. You know what I mean? And that's no doubt in my mind. So hopefully the play results in a win. And we get back to 500 basketball and stay in this thing, man. I know Boston was kind of losing tonight, so that might be a blessing. You know what I mean? Them cats might take an L tonight. and that's wonderful. You know what I mean? So we got to get it, man. But yeah, man, it's good,
Just as
man. We fired up, man. We chilling. We in the chat. Go ahead, Dan, my brother. I got you.
just as you said that, Joel Embiid just dunked on them.
Get up, Joel. Go ahead, give them boys that W. Give them that L.
Yeah.
Give them that L. Give them that L. We ain't got
Philadelphia's up 96-77. 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
That's
That
a wrap.
game, yeah. The Atlanta Hawks. It's a final. They beat up on the Pelicans 123-107. You had the Bulls. You had the Bulls beat the Indiana Pacers 113-97. Keep Indiana off our heels because we have the same number of losses in the loss column as them.
Yeah, I take.
Absolutely. And we have right now Memphis at the end of the third quarter with a 96-89 lead on Miami. That game is in Miami. And they're going into the fourth quarter. You know, it's a 10-point game, but actually a 7-point game, but anything can happen with Miami. That defense, all that, we keep an eye on that. And we have the Lakers putting a drought over the Raptors 102-83. And that game is 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. So those are the games around the league real quick. And those games that we're keeping an eye on are important to us as a Knicks standing and competitiveness, and we'll see that. Well, you know, we don't know if Philadelphia is going to win this game. I don't see Boston coming back and winning this game tonight. So Boston's going to come in here with a loss, you know.
Right.
And we just got to take care of our business, guys. That's it. Knicks basketball, play our game, stretch the floor, and no nonsense, and go in there and execute and win, man. You know, and we're getting him. It looks like hopefully Memphis gives us a little help against Miami. Get some games, you know, get them, you know, keep them close.
You know what? I'll tell you who killed that game. It got to be John Morant probably serving their point guard. That's probably what that is about. You know what I mean? They ain't got nobody to hold John Morant, not at the point guard spot. Boy, I'm telling you, next year if Lonzo come up in here for us, man, we just need a point guard who could distribute that ball. And Lonzo playing good this year. Go ahead, D. Go ahead, my brother.
I got a question about that because there is a reason why the Pelicans aren't putting the ball in Lonzo's hands. You know, he's not a half court point guard. Like, I've been doing my research about Lonzo because I know we all want him. I do want him, but there's certain things that has to happen in order for Lonzo to come here. Like, you have to bank on the fact that, like, RJ has to get way better at driving the basketball ambidextrously to the point where he can get to the rim at will. You have to hope that Randall could get to the rim at will because Lonzo is not a penetrating point guard. That's not what we're getting him for. If we're getting him, we got to understand that Thibodeau has to understand this. If you're getting Lonzo Ball, your best bet is to lean more into the defense, but you have to create transition. This team has to be all about transition. But then you're taking away the fact that we've grown accustomed to being a half-court team. And when you get to the playoffs, most of the offense breaks down in the half court.
Yeah, no doubt. I agree with you. You know what? And that's what's interesting about that whole thing too. I think what's saving him is he's shooting the 3-ball this year. But yeah, no doubt in my mind, it's gonna be interesting what they're gonna do with that. But like Brooklyn Belly, I ain't mad at you with that Brunson thing, my brother. Jalen Brunson be getting it. I like his game. You know, that boy got that Villanova pedigree. You know what I mean? He's been in a national championship game, and he's gonna be like another. I think next year, not money, but he's gonna be one like Van Vliet. You know what I mean? His name gonna be out there like Van Vliet. Maybe not the dollar amount, but the team's gonna be looking for Jalen Brunson next year. You can believe that. You know what I mean? I think so.
Divine, real quick, is he a free agent, Divine?
Who, Brunson?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Brunson. I think he has some market.
Restricted.
Restricted. Okay,
right.
He's in the same boat as Lonzo. All right. One name that I like myself, if we can't get none of these players, is Spencer Dinwiddie. I'm high on him. I don't know what it is. I like the way he plays. You know, he's really good. That's a name that he's going to be a free agent now. I don't think he's a restricted. I think he's a free agent straight out. That's a name, off the injury. You get a fly on him, and we bought in Chris Childs. So before we say we didn't want a net player on our team, we bought in Chris Childs years ago, and it worked out. So That's a name. If we can't, if Lonzo Ball isn't the guy that you think could play in that half court and command and run a floor general, but I think Spencer Dinwiddie is the name to look out there. And real quick with that Memphis game, Moran only has 4 points. He's a -4. The guy that's doing the work against Miami is Dylan Brooks. He has 28 points. He's going out with 28
Yeah,
points.
he's a gamer.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
And Kyle Anderson has 19 and Valanciunas has 18. So they're getting, the points from the center and then the power forward and the small forward. And the point guards are kind of quiet, the shooting guard as well. I'm looking at the box scores real quick, and I'm actually surprised. We thought, you said that the Morant might be going off.
Morant, he did point guards up. Yeah, I really did.
Yeah,
but I guess
is their front lines? Is their front lines doing the battle out there with Miami? Granted they still got a whole quarter left, but it's good to see.
Excuse me. What's the other? I mean to cut you off, BX. What's the other guy playing? Clark, right? Was it Clark?
Brandon Clark.
Brandon Clark. Yeah, they got a man. Imagine if Jared Jackson Jr. come back healthy. They got a nice team down there. Oh, man, they got a nice young squad down there, man. And that boy from Duke, what's his name? The shooter. You get on my nerve with this play Carolina.
Oh, Grayson Allen.
Yeah. They got Grayson Allen down. That team been together for a couple of years, man. And they started real well. Yeah, Nick P, man, I see you, piece of God. I see you, Nick. Yeah, man. So I'm excited, about what's coming up, man. We can't take Memphis for granted, but I hope they beat the Heat tonight. But I like what's going on in the association tonight, though. It's benefiting us for sure. And that's a good thing to see that these teams is taking L just like we take L. Everybody gonna take L, so I'm glad they're taking them tonight for sure. But we need to get.
I see what Nick P wrote, and I'm with you, Nick P. I know my partner doesn't like to hear what I'm going to say, and I already called it. I would love Cam Reddish on this team, and I said Zion Williamson is going to come up to the Knicks. I want to see those 3 Dukies on there running amok. I don't like none of those college teams. My team is Syracuse.
I'm gonna have to disagree completely. If Divine's take is that he wants the Knicks to be allergic to Cam Reddish, I completely agree because I was watching, that year, that was the Fizdale year. So, it's, along with the Knicks games, you had to watch the Duke games. And when you're watching the Duke games, like I know everyone's eyes is on Zion, but I remember I was watching RJ and I was like, it wouldn't be bad if we landed RJ. But Cam Reddish? When Zion went down, it was supposed to be the RJ and Cam Reddish show, but it seemed more like what's the young guy with the brother in the league,
Jones.
The point guard Jones, Trey Jones.
Mm-hmm.
He did a lot more for that team than Cam Reddish did. It was like when it was his time to shine, he shrunk in that light, and there's certain, as much as we want certain players to be for New York, there's certain players that are not built for New York.
Remember, Cam Reddish came out too early. I think he should have stood 2 more years in Duke. I think he came out a little too early, Dan. I think he should have stood, at least another year or 2 in Duke. I think he just wanted to leave too early. That's my opinion on that. And yeah, man, and Nicky P, Zion is coming to the Knicks. Guarantee that. I said it on the show. He's going to play with RJ. He's going to want it. It's a players' league. He's going to want to get out, and I know he's going to be a Knick. He's going to end up replacing Julius Randle, and that's what's going to end up happening. We're going to get Zion Williamson. He's going to be, Zion Williamson not coming as a first-round pick for the Knicks. He lost out to be $1 billion player because with all that hype, he would have been the first $1 billion player easily. Outside with marketing and endorsements and all that, and there's money on the table. And even though the NBA is globally marketed, but there's no way of making that money that you can make in New York. Outside endorsements, and he would have been the toast of the town. If he would have been here, and he still could come back and still get that money on the table. And I could see that. Money moves everything. And these players is a player league, and the player doesn't feel happy being there. And seeing them the way Lonzo will be jettisoned out of there, and they got money problems, and he's gonna want a contract. That's years down the road anyway. So we worry about that. But I'm just looking ahead. I'm calling it ahead of time. that he's gonna force his way to New York. As long as RJ Barrett is here and they play well and they treat RJ Barrett well, he's gonna want to come here. I know you want the Tar Heel connection, but
I'll take
it's mixed real talk, so I gotta be real about it.
I'll take Zion. Okay, Duke or no Duke. If you I'm a Knicks fan, so to bring him on.
Can I tell the truth? Can I tell the truth though? I'm not gonna lie. I don't want Zion. Okay. I think we have Julius Randle already, and you know I watched a couple of games of what the Pelicans are trying to do with Zion, and I'm not gonna lie. I think let's try some of that, and do that over here because Zion, that's all they're doing. They're banking on Zion's ability to penetrate into the rim, either get his own shot or he could kick it out because he's been a point guard before. You're hoping that he has the same vision as Randle does, but Randle's offensive package is so much more developed than Zion's that, like there's some things that athleticism does that it makes it lazy for a player. Like they just know I can get up and get it. But I think Randle has way more skill than Zion does. That may be a hot take, but I really think Julius has a bigger bag than Zion, so he wouldn't fit what we need. I'm really looking at the market. I'm trying to see which wing out of the Western Conference. I'm not looking at the Eastern Conference anymore. I got to see which wing out of the Western Conference is going to demand themselves out because that's the guy we got to jump on. That's the guy that's going to make this whole thing gel together.
I agree.
It starts with a K to me. It starts with a K to me. Kawhi Leonard, basically. Yo, let the Clippers roll out in the second round. Let them fall out in the second round. See what happened.
Well, I said it. I said it here. The Clippers are not getting past the second round. I called it already. I told you no matter what success they're in, they're not getting past the second round. So we'll see if he's going to opt out or not. I don't see it. I don't see the Clippers getting out of the second round. I think they're not going to make the Eastern Conference Final. I'm sorry. I don't think so. No matter who is their matchup, I don't see them there with that. And one thing with Brooklyn Belly, I haven't seen enough of Brunson. The times that I saw him, he's very impressive. And, he pretty much grew up here when his dad played for us. And, he must have been a young child on the Knicks, and you know what? Why not? His dad was once a Knick, always a Knick. His dad. I wouldn't mind having his son come play here for us. And he looks like a bad player, man. He looks good.
Yeah. His dad he worked with the Knicks this year, right? Am I right or wrong? Brunson Senior worked with under Tom Thibodeau. He was in here doing something.
No, he also signed with Leon Rose. So there is a whole family connection over here. I think who said it in the chat? Someone said it in the chat. He has a lot of ties with the Knicks. So I see Brunson coming here, and if you want to say Kawhi, I got a different name that maybe I heard. I make things up in my head. I don't know if you want me to say this name. It might get Knicks fans mad.
Say it, brother.
This guy, I think he's becoming a free agent soon. Steph Curry.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
LeBron is playing too much footsie with him. I don't
nah. See, that's the thing. I think they've been through too many battles already that I don't think Steph Curry would want to I don't think Steph Curry would want to join up with LeBron.
But you know what's interesting with that, Dan? Coming this year at the end of the season, the Knicks is the number one team with the highest salary cap. So is the Hornets. So watch out, look out that Curry is from Charlotte. So you never know that he might want to come back because there's money for the Hornets to get him here on a max contract or signing trade with Golden State because they got money. And then he was going back home. The appeal of coming back home and playing for Michael Jordan, a winner, and bringing that championship level. And you see how close they are to this year. They're developing like the Knicks. So you might think that they're a piece away as well with a LaMelo Ball and a Curry on your guards. wow, you see that going on. You can see that. I could see that. That name was not a far-fetched name to throw out there, but I could see the Hornets trying to get in there and trying to stick in there. What do you think, Divine?
Oh man, I agree with you. Listen, we might have missed him in the draft pick that time, but I mean we won't get him back. Listen, man, Knicks in a good spot. In a good spot.
The only I'm sorry for cutting you off, Devon. The only reason why I said that is because when they asked Steph Curry, what is he playing for? I think he said, I don't have a lot to accomplish, but I got a lot to prove. And I don't know. What if people didn't give him? He got the unanimous MVP, but he didn't get that Finals MVP supposed to take. What if he takes the mantle and goes, you know what? I'm gonna do it right. Let's win in New York in the right place. They're a piece away. They need a ball handler who can shoot the three, penetrate. I think he fits that mold, and they play tough defense. And their coach is not a slouch. You see what he's doing with the pieces he got versus he's done 2 years where Steve Kerr doesn't have the deck stacked, for him, and he's not looking too good as a coach. Granted, Draymond could help them out with some deficiencies. I don't know. Maybe Clay coming back changes the whole thing, but Steph is a name to look out for along with Kawhi.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
I tell you what. He and Steph at the point guard down Master guard. It's a wrap. Steph Curry at Master guard is a wrap, bro. So yeah, man. You know what? We have enough. We have enough capital. We got enough picks. We got enough money. We got a couple of talented ball players you could build around down there. And we just 1 or 2 players away. I believe that. So like I said, whether it's Steph Curry, Kawhi, whoever. That wing position. Can you imagine though, on the real, having Kawhi being backed up by Reggie Bullock? That would be crazy. What? What? You know what I'm saying? Do you talk about 3 and D both on the bench and in the starting spot? You know what I mean? I mean literally that. I mean that. Oof.
And Kawhi really doesn't want a star point guard next to him. He can do with a Julius Randle working in the paint while he gets his shots along in the mid range along with RJ, and you get just the Jalen Brunson. You get him along with Kawhi, a guy who can stretch the floor. Oh man,
and you got a healthy Mitch coming back at the 5.
Oh my! Oh,
I lit it. Mitchell Robinson and RJ Barrett with them 2 on the perimeter D'ing and Mitchell Robinson in that paint. That's party over right there, dog. That's number 2 deep. That's number 1 defense in the league, no doubt about it.
And he knows he doesn't have to work on defense so much. So them knees, he can ice them a little earlier. Oh my God.
Yeah. So and I saw that on the chat that says Nicky P. What about Buddy Hield? Buddy Hield, depending on the price, depending on what it is. He's a little inconsistent, but he's a good shooter. Yeah, he can shoot. He's a little inconsistent, but he's a good shooter.
What do you do with Buddy Hield? Do you do the same thing? Do you put Bullock to the bench and start Buddy Hield? I mean, is that?
See, that's the thing.
You almost getting the same thing. You know what I mean? The way Bullock is shooting. You know what I mean? But I do know that Reggie Bullock can play some D. I don't know how good Buddy Hield defense is. I don't watch him on a nightly basis to say whether he's good or not. But I think the way Bullock is playing, you probably getting with Buddy Hield giving you from that 3-point line because Bullock is knocking down. I'm like, this dude is on fire with that 3-point ball. So that's interesting on Nick P. That's a good one, man. It's tough because like I said, because of the way they play. Is Bullock willing to go to the bench behind Buddy Hield? I can see Bullock going behind the bench for a superstar. But I just like you said, DA, that Randall chemistry with Bullock and you two, especially you, BH, you always point that out. That Bullock and Randall chemistry, that's hard to break that up. So you definitely got to bring in the superstar in there. And you know what? Let me ask you, what would you guys, if you had a chance to go get, let's say, to sign and trade, even though I know it's not going to happen, we're just on a hypothetical. How would you like Brandon Ingram at the 3 down here?
Not bad, but what we're gonna turn into the New York Pelicans because you're gonna have Ingram, you're gonna have Lonzo, and then we're gonna have Zion.
hey, with RJ, bring it on. Yeah, I don't know because I know we just throwing our names out there. I was wondering because he's one of them. I really thought about him in the all season. I figured the Pelicans were going to sign him out. We knew they were going to sign him, but that's one guy. I'm going to tell you where I think he can wind up in his career. I think he can wind up back in North Carolina with Michael Jordan. He's from Kingston, North Carolina. You know what I mean? You know, he might go wind up down in Charlotte. You know what I mean? You just never know. You know what I mean? So, you know, we got to be careful with Charlotte and them, man. They got LaMelo down there.
They got a lot of money in their cap. And also Miami has a lot of money going into the offseason with the cap. And Raleigh is another slick car salesman that will close out, free agents on their contracts. So got to keep an eye on those type of deals. But we'll see what that I see Brooklyn Billy said Grant from Detroit, but he just got there at Brooklyn Billy. He just got a new contract from Detroit. And I think he's going to, no pun intended, he's going to be one of their cornerstone players going forward. Grant, I don't see them getting rid of him, no matter how much his name came up in trade. He just got there. He just got that contract, and they need some kind of players to build it.
I tell you what, they got an athletic team like that. Him, Hamidou Diallo, and Sadiq Bey and them. They got a nice little young team down there, man. I think Dwayne Casey in the next couple of years gonna have them guys right down there. I like the Mitchell Stewart and them guys. They got some nice little young pieces down there. Killian Hayes just got back, and so it's gonna be Dennis Smith Jr. down there. They got a nice little athletic team down there. They're gonna be interested in a couple of years. I'm gonna see what they're gonna do. But yeah, man, we some of the ideas I just thought about, like, man, who's out there in the free agent market next year? Because we're gonna have a wild summer. You think it's wild now trying to talk about these playoffs? Wait till the summer over when it's time to when we got that money. It's gonna be crazy in New York, man. So we need to get, like you said, Nick P said the Knicks just need to build a great bench. Tibbs and needs to trust the young guys, the young boys. I agree with you. And you know what? The enigma to me is Kevin Knox, man. Like the other night, man, I was like, man, come on, man. That's the enigma for me. What are we gonna do with Kevin Knox? You know what I mean? This is a big offseason for the Knicks, man. They got a lot of decisions to make. 1 year players. And the good thing, So I'm hoping that. I love Kevin Knox game. I always thought that Kevin Knox was going to have a bounce back year this year, man. I thought he was one Nick that I thought was going to have a bounce back year this year, for real.
That's my issue with why, like I told you guys, I don't want to face Charlotte. It's because I watch Miles Bridges, and every time I see Miles Bridges on that court, I go back to that story where they had him and Kevin Knox play 1-on-1 to see who gets drafted. And it's like, that's the way we chose to draft at a pivotal time. Like, that's really the way we chose to draft. And so, like, my thing with Kevin Knox is his skill set, if inserted into some part of the lineup, it would solve a lot of our issues. It really would. But I question, like, does Thibodeau see him? Like, there's only two ways Thibodeau sees him right now, and that's either A, he's been taught so many wrong things that he kind of has to sit down, and I have to break him down and rebuild him. Either that, or like most what we can do is like flirt him around and make him trade bait. It's only two things that he thinks of him, that like that's the only two ways he could think of him, and that's what's bugging me about Kevin Knox. Is that his skill set, he is made for the modern NBA. His skill set is made for the modern NBA. His build, what he does best, is made for the modern NBA. But there's something in between the ears that's just not connecting.
Yeah, man. He that boy got a street stroke. I mean, I've been a Knox fan since we drafted him. I just think that a kid got it. He's a shooter. And like I said, and I think I understand why, because it's you got Derrick Rose starting at the backing up the 1. You got quickly backing up the 2, and I think they got Burks at the 3. So Burks is getting a minute from I guess he would have to beat out Burks, and that's just not happening right now. You know what I mean? So I feel for Kevin Knox on that.
Morris.
But you know what?
Right.
And I think they said, well, we can't just Leon Rose is not going to bring Obi Toppin in here, 8th pick, and then we're going to throw him in the bench. I just think that wasn't a good look, like you said, for the organization in a sense. But I'm glad to see Obi coming around. But I mean, can you imagine Derrick Rose quickly knocks Obi Toppin and another, whether it's Noel coming in the next year. That's a nice athletic team right there. You know what I mean? That is literally, and Knox can shoot it, quickly can shoot it. You know what I mean? Obi can shoot it once he started getting in the groove. Derrick Rose knocking him down a little better. I mean, that's a nice little backup the unit, man. So I wish Knox could get in there, man. But unfortunately, right now, with all the veterans we got in there with the Burks and Bullocks and them guys playing the way they playing, and Brooklyn Buddy said Knox is going to be a star somewhere else, man. I hope not. Man.
Yeah, I don't see. That's the thing. I hope he first recognizes that he in order what a star does is that he affects the whole game by having the ball in his hands, and he affects it positively. He has to know that right now, him having the ball in his hands at the most of the time is not a solution for winning. I don't know. It's something's got to happen. I've been listening to Jonathan Macri. Salute to Knicks Film School. I've been listening to him, and he said that Ian Begley told him, reaffirmingly, hey, the guys that are not in the rotation, don't count them out because they do have a plan for them. They have a plan for them somewhere down the line. And I hope so because you can see the parallels. You can see who needs to be who on the court. Knox needs to more emulate Burke. He needs to see Burks and Reggie. He needs to, between those two games, he needs to pick up something from them too. I think Ntilikina, he needs to more so directly imitate Reggie Bullock. He needs to be Reggie Bullock consistently.
Yeah.
And it's just trust in your passing ability more so, but be Reggie Bullock. Shoot it when you have it. But I don't know. There's something I feel like Fizdale, man, he not to mention, but it's just a waste of years.
Yep, absolutely.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And that's why we see in Obi Toppin and quickly play more because those are Leon Rose's first draft picks. That as a president that he brought him in here, and he brought Thibodeau. So maybe that's not selfish reasons why they're playing. And the guys that were currently here, former lottery picks, are also sitting and eating the bench because he wants to show his picks shine and get the opportunities to they know that Thibodeau, just by having Thibodeau on the court as a head coach, they were going to improve by light years. They didn't know it was going to be this good of an improvement, and then by them playing I'm gonna give credit to Josh, aka Uncle Fulio. He says it's a politic game why Obi Toppin kept playing and all that because they didn't want to it's a publicity, but it's working out. They're playing there. That's why these guys aren't on the floor because they weren't drafted by the current regime that's here right now. So maybe that's one of the reasons why we don't see them play much and get the burn in. But they want to see them on off season under this new coaching staff. Remember it was COVID-19 that when this was changed over, they didn't have the time to work with them one-on-one probably and being with them, spending camp and off season workout. They had everything was probably done through Zoom or video conference. So those are the things that that went unnoticed, and for them to be, and that's why this year for them to be the way they are, 25 and 26, it's a testament of the whole organization, the team, and the coaching staff to be this far and this ahead with all these limitations, all these obstacles. So just imagine like we all saying like we're talking now, a whole off season with these guys be able to have full workout programs and camps and working one-on-one and improving their game, and they're gonna be great coming the next season. The second unit quickly will get better as a distributor, and maybe he'll get comfortable when they could use athleticism when Obi Toppin in the second unit. They could only get even better. So, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, Knicks Real Talk Tonight show, y'all know what it is, man. Divine Beard, Jedi 76. We got my man Dan A in the building. We just talking Knicks tonight. on a night off, man, we just talk politics and talking Knicks. We got a game tomorrow in Boston and Beantown. You already know 7:30. We got to go in there and make it happen tomorrow. God, we got the morning show in the morning, so y'all can check us tomorrow morning at 7:30. Knicks Real Talk, the morning show. Rise and shine, get on your grind with us, man, and we be in there tomorrow morning as well, man. But yeah, man, we just got to get back at it, fellas. We got to get back on our winning ways, man. Like like you said in the chat earlier, Da. We got to find a way to put together a winning streak, man, and just get that energy back. You know what I mean? With 1-3 or 1-4 in the last so many games, I know early in the year we went 0-5, and then we turned it around. So we got to find a way to find that, get back to what we do best, man. We've been playing some good basketball. We've been in these games, man. We've been competing, but we just falling short. You know what I mean? And that's one thing I feel good about, that we compete, man. We ain't going in there laying down, just letting even that Dallas game, man. Disappointed as I was with that game, and it was just for them being selfish ISO balling all night. You know what I mean? But they still try to compete. You know what I mean? They didn't have no answer. Once that offense started going south like that, and the ISO ball came into play, it made and Dallas only scored 100 points, 99 or 100. So our defense was there. You know what I mean? It's just that they got an ISO ball into the death, and that wasn't a good look. But other than that game, man, we've been in these games, man. We've been competitive. You know what I mean? We've been fighting, we've been scrapping. We've been gritty and grimy. We've been trying to hold it down. We just got to find a way to he got some wins here and there. The offense starting to look much better than early in the year. I'm happy about that. Oh yeah, yes indeed. Like I said earlier, salute to the Bell and national champions, man. Them boys was ball last night from the door. I mean, them boys came in from the door banging last night. I'm like, you know what? The Baylor made me think of the Knicks last night. I hate to say that. Them cats was scrappy, bro. DA, did you see any of the game last night?
I saw some of the highlights. I didn't get to watch the game because after the Knicks game, I was just watching the post games. I really didn't want to watch. Yeah, but I saw some of the highlights. Yeah, they played some intense defense, and that's why it did remind you of the Knicks, because all this season, man, every team that's been touted to be so much better than us that they're supposed to blow us out the water, we've come in with the attitude like, nah, we're just right there. We're in punching distance. Like that's the type of defense they play. And it's also, because the quality of opponent they played. Like Gonzaga was oh man. That team, it was a great team. I saw the UCLA match they had, and the ball movement, the cutting, the unselfishness that they played with, all for it to come down to a last second shot like that. Like that was a good team. So they had to play that way, where best opponents bring out the best out of you.
Yeah, absolutely. And they say defense wins championship. Defense wins championship in any sport, football, baseball. In any sport, defense wins championship, and you see it last night. Salute to Baylor for winning that national title game, and also I want to a salute to our former New York Knicks and now head coach of the University of North Carolina, Hubert Davis.
Yes.
Yeah, once a Knick, always a Knick. I remember him shooting those three, and I remember the PA announcer, Hubert Davis. I used to like his shooting. He was a sharp shooter in his day, so. I know he's gonna continue that winning program in North Carolina and that Tar Heel pride, and I know he's gonna do good. Absolutely.
Yeah. Me, I'm a Tar Heel fan, man. So I'm happy to see that. Growing up in New Jersey, past New Jersey, man, was a Tar Heel fan. Even when I moved out here to Carolina, North Carolina, that's where I'm at down here. But I've been a Tar Heel fan since day one. You know what I mean? Back before they had Phil Ford and all them dudes, man. So it was good to see that, man. But yeah, one thing on that Bella real quick though, them cats, man, I'm gonna tell you something. Them boys, they was like this here. They had Gonzaga like this here. What Mike Tyson say? Everybody got a game plan until you get punched in the mouth.
You're punched in the mouth. Yep.
That's what happened last night. First of all, that's what happened last night. Them dudes came out the door. Punching, bro. I mean, when they came out in the beginning of that game and they gave it.
I think they started off with like an 11-1 run or something like that.
Yeah, they came out the door. Ooh, them boys was on point. I mean, they really made me think of. I'm gonna tell you no lie. them point guards were playing like Greg Anthony and them cats back in the 90s. That's how they came out. Them guard. I mean, that dude Mitchell, Devian Mitchell, him and them cats was these jokers, yo. I'm like, okay. They said we're going to make a statement real quick. And them big boys up in the front, they couldn't do nothing with them. That was a good game. But it's Gonzaga tried. But my man Shrug's gonna be nice though when he get here. That boy's gonna
absolutely
be nice.
He's gonna look good. He's gonna look good in a Orlando Magic uniform. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. He'd be down in your neck of the woods. He looking good though. He gonna be nice in the NBA. Him and he gonna be nice. I think what's my man in Oklahoma? Everybody they talk about the brother from Oklahoma State.
Oh, I was Cade Cunningham. I was gonna ask you, BX Jedi, you really think the Magic are gonna draft Suggs?
I mean, best available player. If they end up winning the lottery, best available player. I don't see why not. They could, they could shoot. They could put Marquise Folk as a shooting guard, or even try to move him if they do get that. Or because I know they have Cole Anthony, but Cole Anthony, he's a late round pick. Who knows? Magic's they're weird when they draft them. You know what? I'll take that back. They'll probably end up drafting a European player that we never heard of with the first pick.
Luka Garza.
Yeah. They love doing that kind of weird. Being here for 16 years. They make me scratch my head with their draft. Unless if they're like the for sure number one, like Neil or Howard, but they always do some crazy draft picks.
Hey, DA, you might got a point there though. You think about it, they just got rid of Vucevic. You know what I mean? That might be they new Vucevic, Garza, that big power forward boy down there, center power forward, whatever.
Because you see, Mo Bamba isn't working out for them like that. Like I think they either want to move on for him or they want to keep him around and like really work on his game. They notice that it's going to take more time for him, and they were trying to squeeze two timelines together that weren't matching. Like you had those young guys, and then you have Vucevic's timeline. So maybe they're going that route, but I don't know.
They're doing a full rebuild. They're going to go young. Full rebuild with their general manager here in the ball. They've been playing pretty good with the guys they picked up. They had some delusion of that they were trying to get into that play-in game, but I think there's too much of a hill for them to climb to get into that playoff game. But they're not going to waive Otis Porter. They're going to keep him. They want to hold on to him. They're going to keep playing him. They like I said they and also Clifford is coaching for his job. He knows that if I think he's gonna. I don't see him. I've been calling it since the minute I've been on here Knicks Real Talk that he's not gonna be their coach next year. He'll be coming in and coaching with Thibodeau along. Taking the Mike Woodson role, and I can see that happening.
Which is a shame.
Yeah, we'll see because I don't think the Orlando's gonna. It's gonna be Anthony Hardaway. He's gonna leave Memphis to take that coaching job with the Magic. So that's just me predicting. I don't have any sources here, but looking for the tea leaves in the Orlando Magic, it looks like it. There's a lot of traction here with Hardaway. It's a move that they want to invigorate the fans here and get that positive because the Magic is the only pro team in town and they do promote here and they do have them. There is a big following here, despite until the Knicks come to town. But other than that, they're very popular in Central Florida. With that.
Real quick before I go to Dan. I wouldn't know how it happened to Steve Clifford down here. He from that tree, you know what I mean? Him and Thibodeau was assistant coaches under Van Gundy. And you leave it about one thing about Clifford. Clifford he just had a case of bad luck, man. They had the injury bug the last 3 or 4 years. You know what I mean? You talking about Jonathan Isaac, you know what I mean? I'm talking about all these players they've been injured. So he still last year he had them boys competing pretty good without them players, you know what I mean? And so I love Clifford as a coach. He come from that Pat Riley, Van Gundy, that tree, man. You know what I mean? He come from that. So if he could fill Mike Woodson's spot, if he want to do that, I would have no problem bring him on. Yes, indeed, bring that man on. You know what I mean? Because I think him and Tibbs got that good rapport like that, and that's somebody I know Tibbs could trust. You know what I mean? And Tibbs know that he's a defense. He come from that same cloth. They cut from it. You know what I mean? So that'd be nice to see. Yeah, man, but it's all good, man. I'm excited about the game tomorrow. But we're gonna get out of here. I'm gonna get some last words in. We're gonna cut it up so we can get up in the morning, do the morning show. And then we be back on the night after, man, before we go down to Grizzlies and make it happen. So Dan, man, give me some thoughts and before we head out tonight, my brother.
Tomorrow's get right day. It's get
Mm-hmm.
right day.
Yes,
And then
sir.
from then on, we start off and we got to get some small goals. We have to find a way to get one game over 500. Then hopefully you can get two games over 500. Then from then on, whatever happens. That'd be like what, 19 games left in the season? It's 19
Right.
left. Other competitors, they got stronger legs than you. The other ones, they're weaker. We pick on the weak, and the ones that are stronger, we're gonna punch them in the mouth, make sure they can't breathe, and make their legs wobble. That's what we got to do. We got to
That's
finish
right.
out strong. We New
Mm-hmm.
York. That's what we got to do.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. BX.
Well, real quick, I got some breaking news. The Knicks have climbed to the seventh seed due to the fact that
Ooh.
teams around us have lost. The Grizzlies have defeated the Miami Heat 124 to 112.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
76ers over the Celtics 106 to 96. So they're coming in on a loss. The Chicago Bulls beat the Pacers 113 to 97. We have the Pelicans defeated by the Hawks 123 to 107. So those are the games, and yes, the Knicks have climbed up to the seventh seed. And just like my man Dan A said, it's a good right game. I think we match up really good with the Celtics, with the Wings, with Bullock, Burks, RJ. Those guys all play good defense on the perimeter. Quickly, Rose, they can keep up. One of the big keys I think for the Celtics, you got to watch is Smart. Last time we played him, Smart wasn't available. He was injured. So that's going to be a big key, with Smart. If the Knicks got to contain him, I think they could. I think they should. Much as we get on Payne, but Payne does a good job. I think he'll do a good job with Smart and also Rose. So I think the Knicks, they have a chance. The opportunities are gonna be there to have a win, especially on a back-to-back. I like our chances. I'll break down more of the tomorrow morning in the morning show, but I want to thank everyone that listened to us, from Brooklyn Betty, Nikki Peeve, to Camilio, to Frank, to everyone that's on the chat, everyone on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter for following us. And I appreciate you guys coming each and spending this evening with us here. One other note I want to give you guys thanks. We're soon going to be starting that baseball talk. The Yankees won their game tonight, and the Mets are currently leading in the ninth. They're going to win. They look like they're going to get their first win of the season. And yeah, we're looking forward with that. And we appreciate every time you guys come on. The show is from us, a fan, for you guys, a fan, for everyone who is a fan of the team. And we appreciate, and I like that you guys are audience participation. And I like all you guys participating and writing that comment. We love to read and interact with you guys. You guys are part of the show. Like my man Dan is now a correspondent here. It comes on and he gives us a good, real Knicks talk. And it's always a pleasure to have you on and speak with you as our guest. And of course, and what can I say about Divine? We thank you, Divine, for putting this platform together, allowing us to come here and speak with you every night. Knicks Real Talk. And we're getting ready to get out of here. I know we're going to wrap it up, and I'm going to leave these last words to you. And I thank you. Have a good night, and we'll talk to you in the morning. And thank you. This is BX Jedi saying thank you. Thanks a lot, and have a good night, folks.
Yeah. Salute to everybody out there, man. Knicks Real Talk, the night show. We got BX Jedi, my co-host, and we got my man Dan. We appreciate you, Dan, chiming in, my brother, man. We always welcome. The door is always open. You know what I mean? And when you come on, we appreciate having you. We appreciate your intellect. We appreciate your knowledge. We appreciate you, whether you just in general. So thanks for coming on, man, supporting the show, being upon the show, being a part of it, man. Yeah, man, Nick fans, it's a chat. Y'all know that's where it's at. Salute to the chat. That's where it's at. So, Nick P, Brooklyn Belly, everybody, man, Camilio, Tim Smith, and everybody name I forgot. Y'all know I got love for you. I thank for y'all chiming in, checking out the show. Dan, everybody, man. Those who not in tonight, we got love for y'all as well. Always, man. This is the show from the fans, and we're gonna keep it moving, man. And yeah, real talk, man. Like I said, next week, we a little late. We got it. The process started a little late. New York Real Talk baseball, Knicks and Yankees. We're gonna be talking Knicks and Yankees all summer long, man. We're gonna get that popping off. So y'all look out for that channel. I'll give y'all a link to it once we get it popping. New York baseball, real talk, man, Mets and Yankees. You know what I mean? We're going to be getting it in there as well for all you baseball fans and loved ones who love baseball. We're going to be doing that as well. But first and foremost, man, everybody have a good night. Y'all know what it is. Be safe out there. The Knicks got a game tomorrow in Boston, y'all. Y'all know what time it is. Knicks Real Talk, the morning show tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Y'all know what time it is, man. Y'all come in and support the show in the morning if you're getting up, getting on your grind. But y'all know my motto, COVID-19 still out there. Mask up, wash your hands, keep your distance, stay safe, protect your loved ones, your friends, your family. And let's get it, man. Knicks Real Talk, the night show. We about to sign off. And I'll see you cats on the next episode for sure, man. Peace out. Mm-hmm.
Knicks Real Talk.
Knicks Real Talk. Knicks Real Talk. Knicks Real Talk. It's the night show. We on prime time. 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 Knicks Real Talk. Real Talk. Knicks Real Talk. It's the night show. We on prime time. It's the night show. We on prime time. It's the night show. We on prime time. It's the night show. On prime time. Knicks Real Talk. Knicks Real Talk. Knicks Real Talk. It's the night show. We on prime time. 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 Knicks Real Talk. Knicks Real Talk. Knicks Real Talk.